Hi witchlings. Whoa! Welcome back to my channel. It is me, your local Catholic witch aunt. And today I am doing a little bit of an updated altar tour for you all. I think someone recommended this on one of my recent videos because my altar has just changed so much over the course of my practice, and especially within the past 2 years, within the past year, especially with my move to Colorado. So I'll kind of talk a little bit about my altar and how it is now and the things that are centered on it. My altar is one of many sacred spaces in my room. I have altar, kind of an area with a lot of plants, oils, and materials, and behind me my desk, which holds all of my tarot cards, pictures of me and my partner together, and books that I have yet to read. As well as that, I have another section over here, which is more books that I have yet to read. I read a lot of books, and a separate space for my second fox spirit who I named lovingly Scorch. So Scorch is over here. You can kind of see that I'm right there. I also have my little like quote unquote manifestation box. I've been working with these manifestations within this box for ages. I have my alarm clock near it. My Book of Shadows is on the top. I also keep a lot of my herbal remedies over in this area, as well as the area that is not my altar but my sacred space. My altar itself, the focus has changed over a long period of time. I think it was in early 2021 that I started centering the fox spirit, my familiar, into my work, as well as centering herbal allies, centering more kind of animist elements than deities. I do have a deity altar for Diana and for Hades. Hades is worship only. It's also Hades / Pluton, and I just recently switched that baby out with a plant. So I used to have a candle, and I haven't been lighting candles because my entire windowsill is covered with plants now. So I gave him a crawling or creeping fig plant and put his dedicated like skeleton key in there. It's right next to my working money bowl, which I've been continuously working with for ages. But yeah, I recently gave him a plant. Diana also technically has a plant. I have her statue as a form of worship to her. I don't usually light a candle for her. She has a goat horn, a goat jaw, and there's a little peperomia plant right next to her statue that kind of is not dedicated to her, but I do consider it hers. Like, it's her plant. Apart from that, I have my ivy, my pothos, and my philodendron mican all up on the windowsill to get a lot of light. My altar itself is a little cramped right now. I have a lot of jars of bones. I keep a lot of herbal allies mixes that I use, herbal like oils and stuff on my altar. Most of this being like incense that I made in the traditional Italian way, some bones of rabbit heels, and some like small animal bones that I filtered out of owl pellets. As well as that, I have my Vulpet, my familiar skull, and his partner animal, little prairie dog. I have many antlers, either antler tips or big antlers that I found. Some of them belong to deer, others belong to elk or antelope. And my resurrection rose, or my rose of Jericho, there as well, which is another plant ally I work with. I also have a little kind of veneration to Florence and the Machine or Florence Welch, which I talked a little bit on Instagram recently, but she's been so monumental for my practice and the formation of me as an individual, and her music, I think, was a driving force behind my interest in witchcraft to an extent. So I have a candle for her and her book, and I keep it by my herbal allies and my snake skin. The main kind of animal allies that are on my altar that I kind of center are rabbit, fox, deer, snake. I think that's it. Yeah, I have a rabbit pelt that I use to honor the rabbit, as well as rabbit heels. I have lots and lots of deer bones, antlers, etc. Lots and lots of fox paws, fox skulls, fox teeth. I tend to do a lot of my workings on my altar. I have a fireproof plate, which you can see in the video. It has a deer antler on it right now, but fireproof plate, great for candles, great for just making things there. but I do consider most of my room to be a sacred space. I also have one of my favorite parts of my altar is my Maranta prayer plant. She loves being on my altar space. People always tell me that I guess it's a flex that my prayer plant isn't dead. Apparently they're really hard to keep alive. I have 2 of them now. They are my favorites. I have 2 Marantas. Calatheas are also referred to as prayer plants, but for me, I love spending time with my prayer plant, keeping her on my altar, praying with her as well, because that is what she is for, or her namesake, so to speak. So I like to bond with her by cleaning her leaves of dust and reciting the Hail Mary. Either that or, you know, just having her on a sacred space. In a sacred space, I found is really beneficial for her growth. She's put out 4 new leaves since I got her, and I think that was maybe 2 months ago. My new prayer plant is my rabbit foot. She is on the ground next to my altar along with my angel wing begonia, and she was delivered in a cold front, so she's having a bit of a rough time right now. But I'm hoping with a little bit of care, a little bit of humidity, maybe a little quartz crystal in her soil, she will bounce back. That is my hope. My begonia is looking rough, but she is growing new leaves. She had a powdery mildew infestation, and then almost all of her healthy leaves got sunburnt, so I had to take them off. So now there are 2 new leaves and a new little sprout. 2 new sprouts. So that's really great for me. I'm very happy about it. I don't necessarily work with my houseplants all the time. I do love to give my houseplants saint metals. And similar to kind of giving a plant to a deity and watching the plant to see how that relationship with that deity is doing, as well as taking care of the plant as devotion to the deity. Saints are similar, and I have a decent amount of saints that I have petitioned, venerated, try to work with. Most of which being Saint Mary, and the versions of Saint Mary in there are Our Lady of the Woods and the Mary of the Miraculous Medallion, as well as just Blessed Virgin Mary. So those 3 kind of epithets I pay special attention to. I'm also looking into Mary Magdalene. I'm very interested in her and venerating her. Saint Anthony, Saint Joseph, and I think there was a St. Francis medal that is somewhere in here, but I can give an example. This is my philodendron Micon, and the Saint medal in here is covered in dirt. So this is my Saint Mary Magdalene medal that is in with her. I also have a citrine because I think I repotted her and like very recently because she was having a rough time. Her soil was staying wet for way too long, so I did some amendments and changed her soil, but I clipped off old leaves of hers, and we got 2 new leaves right here and right there that are coming from where I kind of trimmed her. Another one of my saint plants is my Maranta. This is what she looks like right now. All her leaves are down. I gotta find the saint medal. Saint Joseph. I love Saint Joseph, and I've been trying to form a better relationship with him, hence giving him one of my thriving plants that has been doing so very well. I like when I put my plants on terracotta because it allows all the minerals to leach out. Very beneficial. Meanwhile, my crocodile fern has, I don't know if I gave him the saint medal. I think I did. Here it is. Saint Anthony medal in my crocodile fern. So while I don't necessarily work with all of my plants as allies in spell work, I do like to give them to certain saints, entities, deities, and then kind of take care of them in veneration of them, or watch them to see how my relationship with that saint is doing. I did give my begonia my Saint Mary medal, and then she started getting new growth, so that is really great. Very good indication of my relationship with Saint Mary. There are a few plants who don't have saint medals, one of which being ivy, that I do tend to work with in spell work a lot, as well as that my pothos, which is an indication of me and my partner's relationship. It was one of the first plants I got, and he has pothos too, and there's a little competition right now to see which one grows more. His is faster growing though, so He would like me to note that he has a bigger plant at this point though. The other section of my altar that I have is one that I discussed a little bit. It's where my oils are, where a lot of my plants are. I have a philodendron cordatum, aloe vera, which is my protection ward. I do love my little baby aloe, crocodile fern, and jade plant, as well as kind of a bowl for my earrings because I like having earrings out. It's a little crock. Other things I have a lot of rosaries, a big antler that I found on the Magic Under the Moon retreat, lots and lots of herbal salves, powders, perfumes, waters, etc. It's kind of my like stockpile because I don't have enough room in my little bookshelf. Bookshelf is herbs, over here is oils. It also helps me be able to kind of go through them and pick which one I want for every day. And as well as that, I have it's like really pretty. It looks pretty. I have some bones over there too, some rosaries, etc. Diana's altar is one that, you know, I try to keep it relatively simple. I'm not very adorning with my deity altars. I'm like, here's something to honor you and some things you like. So for her, you know, like I said, I guess I'm throwing knives. I also have one of my oils that I'm making with herbs native to my ancestors' town, kind of on their altar, trying to get some sunlight. I'm in a basement. Sun is very difficult down here. So, and the big debate is a lot of people argue that you should not show the altar, you cannot show the altar, which is actually really valid and totally fine if you are not comfortable showing your altar or your tradition says, hey, you don't show the altar. For me personally, I am okay showing my working altar or other kind of sacred spaces like deity altars or kind of stacks of books for spirits, etc. I, under no circumstances, will show my ancestor altar. This altar is kind of over here, right on top, and for me, it is something that I always have considered sacred, and it is just a personal thing between me and my ancestors. The way I honor them, what I have on it is personal. It's kind of my hard line of like, you can see my working altar, but you cannot see my ancestor altar. It's also, in part, kind of a space to venerate certain saints. Not necessarily all of them, but just to kind of, for context, a lot of the things on there are in honor of my ancestors, dedicated to my ancestors. I have a lot of rosaries, I have a lot of saint cards, I have a lot of bells, things like that. And I think I usually have a cup of something. It was Florida water for a while, and then it was like a herbal water that I made that then started going moldy. Well, not moldy, it just kind of looked a little funky. It had bubbles on top, I got rid of it. Colognes, tarot cards, rocks, feathers, plants, dried flowers. There's a lot going on there, but it is something that I like to keep between me and my ancestors and my saints, and I do not share with the rest of the world. I also have a section right next to my altar where I keep incense, spare candles, etc. So if I want to do a spell, I can just kind of grab it out. I have other areas that I think those are most of them. Ancestor altar, desk, other desk, working altar. I got a big old bell. And then my other area, which is all oils and kind of stuff to help me start my day, stuff I use very frequently, and then just a whole lot of plants. I would love to get more, but I don't have any room right now. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 down here and one upstairs. Plus the herbs I just got for my herb garden. So plus that, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 plants altogether. It's a lot. We'll have more eventually. When I have it, I'm kind of secluded to the basement right now, but there will be more space once I move out, more space when I live in a different house, all that good shit. But yeah, my altar has changed a lot over the years. I am really proud of where it is right now, and I'm really proud of where it's going to continue to go, and I'm sure that I will continue centering animal and plant spirits that I work with, my ancestors, etc. But yeah, I want to know how your altar has changed throughout the years you've been a witch. If you're new, if you're not new, does it look the same that it did when you first started, or from last year even, or does it look completely different? I'm really curious. So let me know in the comments. If you want, you can like, subscribe, turn the bell on, but absolutely no pressure. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Savanadika.